Breaking today, Meghan Markle pushes back against her Diana death stunt in Paris. No wonder. Prince William, we're told, is so horrified, so mortified.
Meghan Markle made her Paris Fashion Week debut, and there was this awkward interaction with the Balenciaga creative director. Let's look at this. It's so cringe to watch, isn't it? So awkward.
This video, designed to mentally torture her husband as she drove near the scene of his mother's death, proves categorically we are dealing with a deeply twisted and troubled individual.
Flashbulbs exploding, Balenciaga, cameras everywhere. Everyone was holding their breath, waiting for the grand royal comeback that never came. This was supposed to be the moment. Meghan Markle's glorious resurrection. Her bold, I'm that girl and you can't ignore me moment. The Duchess of Hollywood, the Queen of Fashion Week, the woman who'd silence every critic with one flawless pose. But when those glass doors of Paris swung open and Meghan stepped through, something shifted. The air changed. The room froze. Not in admiration, but in disbelief. No gasps, no applause, not even a murmur, just silence. A silence so sharp it sliced through the marble like glass. You could literally hear the echo of her heel click across the floor. One stylist whispered, you could feel the temperature drop when she walked in. No hugs, no warm smiles, not even a polite, you look stunning. Just eyes, cold, watching, judging. And that's when the whispers started. At first, faint, then louder, until it became a storm swirling behind those velvet curtains and designer smiles. Insiders started saying things no one wanted to say on camera, things that made this Paris comeback unforgettable. But for all the wrong reasons. What really went down in Paris? And why are people whispering that the Duchess didn't just lose her sparkle? She lost her throne?
I look at Meghan Markle and these videos and pictures from Paris. She seems kind of drugged out. She seems kind of faded, a little bit like this and that. I don't know if she's jet lagged.
See, Paris is brutal. It forgives arrogance. It forgives scandal. But what it never forgives is pretense. And that night, Paris didn't see a royal. It saw an act. Outside, Meghan performed perfectly for the cameras. Chin high, smile steady, that signature confidence that once made Buckingham Palace tremble. But inside, editors looked away. Stylists turned their backs. The same fashion elites who once fought to take selfies with her now suddenly acted like her very presence was contagious. Even photographers, normally obsessed, couldn't care less. Their lenses pointed elsewhere. One insider summed it up with brutal honesty. It wasn't glamour. It was awkward theater. But here's where things took a darkly funny twist, because according to people backstage, the problem wasn't just the icy silence. Oh no, it was the smell.
Meghan Markle, look at her face, furious because she's being ignored.
Let's talk about what insiders have now dubbed the scent scandal. Multiple stylists swore it was real. Meghan's arrival came with a cloud. One described it as cheap perfume and stress. Another said the glam team was spraying everything like their jobs depended on it. Even the makeup artists looked worn out, like they'd been through battle. Someone backstage even joked, "You can fix foundation, but you can't fix that smell?" Cruel? Maybe. But this is Paris, where gossip spreads faster than perfume in the wind. By the time Meghan stepped out of that building, no one was talking about Balenciaga's designs. They were all whispering about her.
Fans are slamming Meghan for this, calling her the Duchess of Hypocrisy for attending Balenciaga's show, seeing as there was a lot of controversy around this brand and an ad that was seen as quite creepy that involved children.
And then came the humiliation that sealed the deal. The borrowed wardrobe. Just days later, fashion insiders spilled the truth. That head-to-toe Balenciaga look she wore so confidently? Not gifted, not fitted, just borrowed, returned, tag still attached. And in the fashion world, that's not a small detail. That's a diss. Designers gift their creations to stars they believe in. They lend them to the ones they're unsure about. And for Meghan, a duchess who once turned every sidewalk into a runway, this was pure humiliation, disguised as haute couture. No tailoring, no custom fit, just borrowed fabric and borrowed time.
Who invited her? How did she get there? I've heard she was a +1. She wasn't even an invitee of the house. Is that true?
No, she was definitely invited by the house because she was wearing their...
But the moment that truly sent chills down everyone's spine, the tunnel scene. Because when people said Meghan took a drive through the tunnel, they didn't mean any tunnel. They meant that tunnel, the Pont de l'Alma, the very same place Princess Diana lost her life. At first, people brushed it off as a coincidence. Then her own team claimed she didn't know. Didn't know? The woman who studied Diana's life like it was sacred text? Who quoted her interviews? Who watched her funeral on repeat? Please. Insiders whispered she'd gone there on purpose, filming herself, trying to blur the line between her and Diana. If that's true, this wasn't homage, it wasn't fashion, it was obsession. And then it got worse. I think she's evil. I think you might be right. Those clips started circling online, and suddenly social media exploded. Twitter renamed it #TheParisDisaster. TikTok was flooded with split-screen edits. Diana's final photos side by side with Meghan's Balenciaga entrance. One meme read, "Diana walked in love. Meghan walked in PR." Another simply said, "Paris doesn't forgive fake. It frames them." The comment sections turned into war zones. Some defended her. "She's reclaiming history." Others dragged her. "She's recycling it." Would you believe her if you saw that clip? Comment below, because the irony was painful. The same woman who blamed the British tabloids for Diana's death was now partnering with CBS, the same American network that had paid for and aired photos of Diana's final moments. Coincidence? Number. That's Hollywood math.
I think she's evil. I think she's evil.
I think you might be right.
The Netflix deal? Cooling off. Spotify? Gone. That podcast empire? Collapsed faster than a silk gown in the rain? And every brand meeting now ended with the same cold phrase whispered across tables: "She's not trending like she used to." Paris didn't just reject Meghan's fashion. It rejected her narrative. Because Paris doesn't reward pretense, it exposes it. And that week, under those flashing lights, Meghan wasn't a duchess, or an icon, or even a celebrity. She was exposed, completely.
She's doing this deliberately. Okay, this is a sociopathic woman, in my opinion. She's probably trying to trigger Harry. But Meghan Markle, she's just really full of crap to be riding around Paris at night with her legs up in the back of a car, knowing your husband's mother famously died in the back of a car without a seatbelt on, allegedly, in Paris.
Let's be real for a second. This was never about clothes or catwalks or couture. It was about identity. For years, Meghan built herself out of borrowed symbols. Diana's compassion, the Queen's poise, Hollywood's spotlight. But under those Paris lights, the illusion cracked like glass. She once told Oprah she wanted privacy, but then called the paparazzi herself. She swore she never Googled Harry, yet planned their chance meeting months in advance. Every contradiction piled higher than her heels that night. And in Paris, the city that worships authenticity, people finally saw the truth. The difference between royalty and replica. The woman who claimed she didn't know about the tunnel was now trying to film her way through it. And when she finally left the show, the applause wasn't thunderous. It was polite, controlled, final. Like Paris was saying, "Thank you, but we're done here."
To make it even worse, then she makes this face where it's an obvious pouting like a little girl, a 6-year-old. She makes this face because she's being ignored.
By the time Meghan's car pulled away, Paris had already given its verdict, not in words, but in silence. She came to reclaim her throne and left stripped of her crown. Because one thing's certain, in the city of lights, where image is everything, Meghan Markle learned the hardest truth of all. You can't script authenticity. And Paris doesn't forget. So comment below. Tell us what you think really happened. Was this a comeback gone wrong or a warning written in couture? And if you like your scandals served ice cold, don't forget to subscribe. Because trust me, this story, it's just getting started.